terrain. None of that same mundane terrain. The fast lane gets blurry, interestingly disturbing. The demons, they're lurking, I'm particularly worthy. So they always show up early when that road gets curvy. They hurt me, but I'm burly, so I surely keep on working. What's down below? 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 Yeah. It's rainbows, it's Cloud9 cause I say so. No good book, no halos, jungle gyms and no Play-Doh. Brass ones that hang low, I might be insane though. Everybody's shady and we've all got an angle. Yeah. Everybody's shady and we've all got an angle. Yeah. Same mundane terrain. None of that 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 same mundane terrain. I'm as lost as a child, having no one to take me to the only place I need to go. And it's California, and I'm almost home, but I can't seem to find my way. Monterey, where I need to go.
Welcome, faithful followers of the green and white, to today's women's soccer match at Vikings Field. Today's interconference tilt pits the visiting Mountain Lions of De Anza College against your DVC Vikings. DVC enter at 1-5, having split a pair of games last week, beating Cabrillo for their first win of the season and hanging tough despite a short roster against Woodland. The Mountain Lions are 1-1-1, having won their last match over Yuba with a tally 12 minutes from time. Without any further ado, here are today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Mountain Lions, coached by Rusty Johnson, assisted by Isabel Sandes, Veronica Cashman, Brent Natwick, and David Guargas. The captain, a sophomore midfielder out of Branham, number 12, Leah Hirata. The rest of the De Anza starters, a freshman goalkeeper out of Immaculate Heart, number 0, Nina Smith. A sophomore defender out of Westmont, number 2, Natalia Kroll. A freshman midfielder out of Santa Clara, number 7, Rifa Khalil. A freshman midfielder out of West, number 8, Mitra Vijay. A sophomore defender out of San Francisco Javier, number 11, Maria Mora. A sophomore midfielder out of Gunderson, number 13, Jasmine Lucas. A freshman forward out of James Lick, number 14, Francia Castro. A freshman defender out of Gunderson, number 16, Hermione Thompson. A sophomore defender out of Gunderson, number 17, Madison Braun. And a freshman defender out of Gunderson, number 21, Jaden Reyna. And now for your DVC Vikings, coached by Colleen Mullins, assisted by Sam Lubasic and Tino Takuba. First, the captains, a sophomore defender out of Doherty Valley, number 24, Maila Hicks. And a sophomore midfielder forward out of Cal High, number 27, Alina Rodriguez. The rest of your starters for the green and white, a freshman goalkeeper out of Concord, number 0, Isabella Hernandez. A freshman defender and forward out of Marine Christian, number 2, Hannah Morel. A freshman defender forward out of Liberty, number 3, Kenny Regis. A freshman midfielder forward out of Northgate, number 7, Anjali Huber. A freshman defender out of Liberty, number 12, Amanda Robertson. A redshirt freshman defender out of Dublin, number 14, Sophia Loera. A sophomore midfielder forward out of EI, number 17, Miki Miyazaki. A sophomore forward out of Northgate, number 21, Hannah Walden. And a freshman defender out of Clayton Valley, number 26, Jocelyn Pelcastre. Today's officials are Peter Hansen in the center, assisted by Khalif Stevenson on the player bench sideline, and Cecilia Chavez on the spectator stand sideline. We ask now that you please remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Through the left side, base hit! Downing is in to score! And DVC walk it off!
That's my step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the goal run. Has a man in the middle. Intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
Who finds Edwards? Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep 3. Able to knock it down!
The counter-attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus! Lemus! And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California! Welcome, faithful followers of the green and white, to coverage of women's soccer on DVC Vikings Live. I'm your host and commentator, Joe Hickey, ready to bring you the first of 3 in a row on the green grass of Pleasant Hill as the green and white welcome the Mountain Lions of De Anza College to the Vike. DVC's encouraging start to last week ran into a roster crunch on Friday at Woodland as the absence of Jocelyn Pelcastre and early knocks to Cami Regis and one later on to Hannah Morel led to the Vikings playing a woman down for 70 of the 90 minutes. Despite all that, they nearly made it to the break at 2-1 after a gorgeous quick strike of a diagonal ball from Hannah Morel sprang Anji Huber for her 6th goal in 4 matches. But a painful late tally from Woodland's hat-trick hero Kenya Shears just before halftime took the wind out of DVC's sails, and they would fall to a 4-1 defeat. As for De Anza, they come in on the heels of their first win of 2025 on Jasmine Spencer's 78th minute tally, and they haven't lost now since falling 7-0 to Reedley in their opener. DVC's goal today will be to bring the Mountain Lions crashing down to earth from the high of a first victory, the same way that Woodland did to the Vikings 4 days ago. Let's take a look at the starting lineups here for the two sides as they have taken the field. It's going to be DVC kicking off and going right to left in just a moment. But you see there the Vikings lineup does have the return of Jocelyn Pelcastre for today. She will be part of that defense with Hicks, Loera, and Robertson. It's going to be Hannah Morell at the back of a 3-woman midfield with Cami Regis and Miki Miyazaki. Up top, it's going to be Huber and Walden, or I should say Huber in the center, bracketed by Walden and the other captain, Alina Rodriguez. 4 on the bench, which is an absolute luxury after having none and then eventually -1 yesterday for DVC. For De Anza, you see the lineup there. Looks like a 5-4-1 on the face of it, based on the positions provided by the De Anza coach's roster. We'll see how that pans out. If it is that case, it would be Castro, the lone player up front. But it's DVC in possession as we get started. I don't know why that's what's on the caption. That should be my name there. One little thing that we forgot to do. There's always something. We'll just get it out of the way early. We'll get that thing up and running properly here. In the meanwhile, DVC in possession to start the game, and it's on the left side as Alina Rodriguez loses it out of play under the watchful eye of our center official, Peter Hansen, as well as the woman all the way across with the flag. That is Cecilia Chavez. Khalif Stevenson, the one that you'll see just underneath and to the right of our huddle focus camera, bringing you the views today of DVC De Anza. First half just underway here as the goal kick is claimed in the center by Alina. Worked over to the left here for Cami Regis. Now back to the defense, and DVC looking to show a little bit of patience, and it does indeed seem to be Francia Castro up front, perhaps joined by the 16 Hermione Thompson. But by and large, it does look like it may well be a 5-4-1. De Anza looking to defend against the Vikings team that put up 4 goals a week ago today here in Pleasant Hill against Cabrillo, and a team that managed to score 1 despite playing a woman down in the late going of the first half against Woodland up on the road in the heat in Sacramento. That a game at the end of which, despite the 4-1 loss, the coaching staff said, "I don't know that I've ever been prouder of you guys than I am after watching just the battle and the spirit of the team despite playing a woman down for the vast majority of it." No blame, no finger pointing, no nothing. The team just went out and competed and did the best they could against a much improved Woodland side compared to what we saw of them last year. Ball claimed here by De Anza for the first time, but it's a giveaway by the 13, Lucas, taken by Angie Huber. She's got 6 of DVC's 7 tallies, rolls that to the feet of Alina, trying to scoop that into the path of Regis. Nothing doing, comes back to Rodriguez for a moment, but unable to work her way through a trio of De Anza defenders. Back on her foot after a touch from the 12, Robertson, and now out wide left. Here's Regis. Looking towards the far post with a cross. Met over there on the volley, but over the top by the 21, Hannah Walden. DVC's first shot, but it will not be on frame here in minute number 3. Indications, perhaps audible, in the broadcast from the first-year De Anza women's head coach, Rusty Johnson. This ball's claimed at the left side. Trying to stay on it was Angie. Vikings look for the counter press, but it is cleared effectively here to Maila Hicks at the midfield stripe. And that one's a bit of a hospital ball. Good work by Pelcastre to keep that in possession for DVC. Could have been a breakaway for the Mountain Lions. 91 degrees here at game time as Miyazaki threads one forward, looking for Regis. A little too hard. Cami not able to get it under control. The clearance all the way back to Bella Hernandez, the Vikings keeper. Robertson, Regis, looking to take the 13, Jasmine Lucas on the dribble. Lucas, the one who scored the game winner, as this one's looped over the top. Anji beats the keeper to it, now has to go to a very tight angle, keeps the ball in play, looking for happy feet. Nah, it's too late. The ball already over the back line. The flag up from Cecilia Chavez. Decent attempt there, as that long ball nearly found Huber ready to do the damage we've gotten so accustomed to already just 4 games into this season. We mentioned before, 4 available on the bench for Coach Mullins. The usual suspect was Emma Soboleski, as this one is reflected by Miyazaki, just a little too wide for Huber. Punched away by the 21, Jaden Reina, instead for Dianza. Now drop back in a battle of 17s, won by Madison Braun of the Mountain Lions. Goes into spin cycle, Miyazaki dispossesses her. Centrally for Regis. Vikings look to make use of the space. Loera. A little bit of a rough touch there, and Rifa Khalil nearly comes away with it. Loera able to repossess the ball there. Regis, Robertson. Forward looking for Rodriguez. Taken away there, though, by the 11, Maria Mora. Mora, a sophomore defender, has started every game this season. Was not a Mountain Lion last year. The throw-in actually stays in. Alina may have given up on that one a little prematurely. Gets stuck in, though, now against Natalie Kroll. Nearly takes it away. Now comes to Mora. Now comes to Regis. Regis trying to step around a few Dianza players. Looks to put it across. Deflected at point-blank range and cleared now by Dianza. Looking for a run for Rifa Khalil up the right side. Nothing doing. Throw in taken quickly, but we do have a player down. So I think we'll retake that here from just underneath the camera position. Throw in from Robertson to the body of Regis. Launched centrally off the chest of Hermione Thompson, but it comes straight to Huber. Huber versus 3 defenders at the edge of the 18. Cleared partially, now comes to Rodriguez. She thinks about a shot from distance. May have taken a deflection on the way through, and it does come to Nina Smith, freshman out of Immaculate Heart. So we were mentioning Soboleski, the usual suspect among the subs. Good news, the return of Molly Rattery to active involvement in the team. There was concern that she may have had a season-ending injury between games 1 and 2. She is available, as are the 2 new names on the roster. One, a slightly old name, Callista Rubel, back to the green and white, the sophomore out of St. Vincent. Played for DVC last year, as well as a new name, although not if you're a track and field fan, and that is Sofia Gonzalez. So we will see potentially some new players here, as it's Hannah Walden. Or rather, the ball in, I should say, from Regis. Reflected, now Walden. Now Regis trying for the cross. That hits a Dianza player in the head. She pops right back up, though. Still alive over on the right side. Miyazaki, another cross, and another one that impacts the head of a Dianza player. This one stays down. Miyazaki on the ball. There has been no stoppage. It is cleared now. Mr. Hansen, with the whistle in his mouth, will now stop play to check on the injured Mountain Lion. Trainers coming out here as we get an opportunity to tell you a little bit about Dianza. As we said, 1-1 this year. They were 1-15-2 last season under the interim coach, Mark Landefeld, who took over for the long-standing coach there, Cheryl Louisney, who was there for the better part of two and a half decades. This an historically great program, as the trainers are going to ask for a sub, it would appear, for the injured Mountain Lion. We'll let you know who that is once she's close enough to spot. I believe Mitra Vijay. They are very skinny numbers, so hard to be certain that I'm seeing an 8 there.
Thank you.
At any rate, historically great program. Back-to-back state champions in 93 and 94. Won 8 of 9 conference titles between 2000 and 08. Back-to-back state Final Fours in 06 and 07. But it's been rougher sledding ever since. Have not made the playoffs since 2009. And this matchup used to be opening day for both programs pretty much every year until 2014. Oddly enough, the last time they did that was my broadcast debut back in August of 2014, and then we renewed the rivalry last year, or 2 years ago rather, but renewed it out in Cupertino last season when I returned to the mic and celebrated my 10-year anniversary. We may have some history in the offering for this game as well, but the Vikings have some work to do. It's not just going to be as a result of me showing up or the calendar turning. Currently it is Deanza working forward. Maila Hicks finally up to challenge Madison Braun, who's worked all the way up the left side, a good 40 yards. Finally taken away by the Viking captain. 10 minutes gone here in half number 1 nearly. A scoreless game as Deanza earned themselves a throw-in. So far through just about 10 minutes, as it is indeed Mitra Vijay who has come off for the injury earlier. Ball in possession of the captain, Leah Hirata, but she passes that right to a Viking, and it's Cami Regas shot out of a cannon. Here comes Cami, steps around 2 defenders, looking to take on a third, still on it, and finally the last one does clean things up, but it comes free to Alina Rodriguez. Alina, working from the left, now leaves it for Cami. Regas not able to get it to stick to the foot, taken away by Khalil. Now back from Regas. Cami. Long drive towards the back post. This one's going to take one big hop. Claimed inside by Perla Guadalupe. Comes free. Miyazaki looking to get turned for a shot as Huber tried to set her up. Too much congestion in that area, though. Cleared away. Now a new ball in, and that's going to be scooped up by Nina Smith. Trying to spot the newly inserted player. I believe it is the 3, Perla Guadalupe Delgado, over at the far sideline in place of VJ. In fact, yeah, I think it has to be because the 2 is the only other number I think I'd mistake for 8, or rather 3. And she's playing right center back. Ball forward here for Alina Rodriguez. Touches that off the 11, Mora, and that'll be out for the day's first corner kick. Goes the way of the Vikings. They also have the day's only shot. Yet to see one on frame. Yet to see a foul called here in the early going. Vikings recently, it's been the first handful of minutes that have been so good to them, outscoring opponents 3-2 in the opening half hour. Here comes the ball in from the left side, popped up by Cami Regas, can't get to the carom. Threaded in now by Maila Hicks, and that'll go out of play as it was Hannah Walden putting the corner kick in. The Vikings 4 substitutes. Gosh, that feels good to say. Get up to get a little bit warmed up here.
Into the game for the injured player for Deanza, number 3, Perla Guadalupe Delgado.
The goal kick battled for by Walden and the 17 Braun. Hannah Walden thinking she was a little interfered with. Here comes Cami Regas, takes the ball away, fires. That'll be the first shot on goal of today's game, but it is easily claimed by Smith. Nina Smith so far a 3.00 goals against average coming into play. 9 goals conceded in 270 minutes. 7 of those, though, came in the opener against Reedley. A 2-2 draw following that against Solano and a 1-0 victory over Yuba last Friday. The balance of what the Mountain Lions have done so far in 2025. Deanza looking to reverse some program history, at least, with the DVC Vikings. Last time that the Mountain Lions, well, I can't say no last time the Mountain Lions beat the Vikings because the Mountain Lions never have. The Dons, as they were called before that, did win 4-3 back in 2009. Since then, it's been 7 consecutive victories for the Green and White. Looks like we do have the first foul of the day. That also goes against DVC, so they've now got 2 shots, 1 on goal, 1 foul, 1 corner. Deanza still looking to open their account in any of those. And here's another takeaway in the middle. This time around it is again Cami Regas. Regas trying to put one forward for Huber. Can she get there before the keeper? Not quite. Good alert goalkeeping by the number 0 in bright orange. Nina Smith out to claim that. It's the new man in charge here, as well as the old man that was in charge at De Anza, both involved in other programs as well. Rusty Johnson's been the men's soccer coach for over a decade, second winningest in De Anza men's soccer history. Mark Landefeld, who took over as the interim the last 2 seasons, he heads back to his first love, which is coaching the Mountain Lions badminton team. Angie Huber comes away with the ball in the midfield here, a loose one. Here comes Alina Rodriguez. Plays that off the arrival of the 11 Mora. That'll go out off of her. Throw in to come here. And DVC about to make their first sub of the day. It's a welcome sight here, the return of Molly Rattery.
Into the game for the Vikings, number 23, Molly Rattery.
One sub in each as she will take off Hannah Walden. Like for like swap as she will head to the right wing. Rattery and Rodriguez bracketing Huber. In what certainly seems like, at least on evidence from a few prior games, a really dangerous looking trident. Huber, of course, has done most of the scoring. Rattery unlucky, I should say, not to get one late in the opener against Skyline in her first appearance in green and white. Ball taken away in the midfield, comes to Madison Braun. 2 Vikings converge, now drop back nicely for Lucas and looped over the left side, and it's Hermione Thompson in pursuit, the freshman out of Gunderson. Will not have the wheels to get to that one, though, over the back line. Viking goal kick to come here, 16 minutes into the encounter. We're mentioning beforehand, Vikings outscoring opponents 3-2 in the opening 30 minutes. It's been the middle 30 that have been the problem, but against Cabrillo, they managed to hold tight there. Even scored a goal in the 40th minute of the game against Cabrillo to make it 3-0. And they got one on Friday at Woodland as well. The late one by Angie Huber. The unfortunate thing for the Vikings was they could not avoid conceding another one during that game. Cami Regas coming forward, played off of the body of Kroll. And now Cami defending it. Kroll on her back. It's going to come free to Alina Rodriguez. One player to the deck, no foul. Mora takes it away from Alina, though. Clearance finds the boot of Hannah Morell, an improvised number 6 today in this midfield. She finds Angie Huber, takes it down off her chest. Thought about trying to spin and fire, but she's offside. Flag up from Cecilia Chavez across the way. And we had the good news of Molly Rattery returning after a week and a half absence. We're now going to have the good news of the return of the injured player, Mitra Vijay, about to return to the game. Regas in the midfield. Had a nice little fake to get rid of one defender and then got rid of herself by mistake there. Morell, nice ball forward to find Miki Miyazaki, and Miki is going to try to put one into space for Rattery. Bit of a mishit. Ball's out. After the clear, Jocelyn Pelcastre to put it back in for the green and white. Finds the feet of Rattery. Can't quite hold on to it there. And we've got a second Viking foul. Free kick from just behind the midfield stripe here in just a moment. Long ball driven over the top of Hicks, and she does well enough to hold up Castro. That'll come straight on through. So it does seem like when De Anza are out of possession, it is a 5-woman midfield or perhaps a 5-woman defense. When they're in possession, you definitely have Rifa Khalil and Hermione Thompson coming forward to join Castro in what looks like a 3-woman attack. A little bit of tactical flexibility as this one's put forward here, and it's Rattery on the run, working against Guadalupe. Rattery, a little bit of a hesitation. Back to goal, trying to perhaps play on Miyazaki, but it's going to be Perla Guadalupe taking it away, and now reclaimed. Cross in from Rattery, deflected away by Hirata, the captain. That'll be a corner kick, second of the day for the Vikes. VJ has been very patiently awaiting her return to the game, but Vikings have maintained possession for a decent stretch here, and when it's gone out, it stayed with them. Corner kick to come from the right side. Appears to be Huber putting this one in, maybe Morel. It is Morel. Second bite at the apple is going to find Huber. Goal! Go, 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 go! Guess who? Number 7, Anji Huber. Anji on the board in the 20th minute of the encounter, and the Vikings yet again benefiting from that chunk of the game where they have been so dominant to this point.
DVC goal in minute number 20. The 7th of the season for number 7, Anjali Huber. DVC 1, Dianza 0. Hydration break. So the notice here from the AR Khalif Stevenson is that players must stay on the field during the hydration break. If there are going to be substitutions, they need to be acknowledged by the officials, so you don't want to potentially do one by accident along the way. And of course, at this point, the AI camera is awfully confused, doesn't know what to do, so we'll go ahead and cover it up and tell you a little bit about what is coming up this week in DVC athletics. Volleyball opens up their Big 8 calendar with a home match tomorrow night, 6 p.m. against San Joaquin Delta. And they'll continue that Big 8 calendar when they go out on the road for the first time, and I believe that's the first time all season, to face off with Modesto. That coming on Friday. Also on Friday, the Jack Flanagan Water Polo Invitational hosted by Corey Dolly's men's team. That'll feature games Friday and Saturday. Friday on the docket, San Mateo and Las Positas. Las Positas, for that matter, also one of the upcoming adversaries for DVC soccer coming up next week. Speaking of soccer, they'll be hosting West Valley on Friday. We will have a live stream, no commentary for that one, though, so don't yell at Sofia Lopez Real for the lack of audio, the way that I got chastised slightly for the lack of video when I went to Woodland the other day. Be nice, be kind. And then Saturday, DVC football will be at home again against Sacramento City. Of course, little capsules to tell you all about each of those programs over the course of our second half when we take you around the horn. Indications coming from Coach Rusty Johnson here as we get ready to restart. Half of the first half gone. DVC just on top with the goal moments before the hydration break at the 20-minute mark. And it's Anji Huber with her 7th goal of the season, and Hannah Morel with her 3rd assist to tie Kemi Regis atop that list. In fact, those two have all the assists so far with one exception. Alina Rodriguez, we should say two rather, Alina Rodriguez and Miki Miyazaki each had assists in the game against Cabrillo. But Regis had 2 in that one. Morel assisted the very first goal of the season for DVC, as well as the one at Woodland. Or I should say she had the one for the game against Chabot, rather. Ball into the back of Rifa Khalil as Dianza looked to attack. Long ball popped up with the body of Jaden Reina. Under pressure from Huber, already with 1 goal on the board. And you know that just makes her want more. Robertson, forward trying to thread one in for Huber, picked off by the captain Hirata. Hirata, one of the few returners on this team, 11 starts in 2024. Had a pair of assists in the draw with Gavilan. And assisted the game winner on Friday as Dianza picked up their first victory of 2025. Shove in the back from Hermione Thompson. That'll be a DVC free kick. First thing to go on the Dianza side of the ledger. Otherwise, it's 3 shots, 2 on frame, 1 in the back of the net for the Vikes. 2 fouls, 2 corner kicks as well for DVC.
Kroll up ahead for Hicks. Not intended for Hicks, but that's who ended up with it. Maila splitting two defenders, working her way up the right side. Guadalupe looks to face her up. Ball played off the 3 in white. It'll be a Viking throw in the attacking third. Miyazaki, the one who shifts back to fill the gap left by Hicks. Maila, attacking midfielder by trade, converted into a defender out of necessity last year and has found that she loves that position and may feel more comfortable there than anywhere else. But you have to imagine when she gets forward into the attack, has that feeling of like, yeah, I remember this. This was good. Ball on the foot of Loera. Sofia pushes forward as Maila steps back into her position. Regis, Morel, giving indications, now tries to loop one over the right for Rattery. Gives up possession to Guadalupe. Clearance, though, is going to skew off the foot of Natalia Kroll. Viking throw from the far sideline. Throw in comes to Rattery. Drop back from Miyazaki. Nice little spin to get away from a defender. Now Mickey with some space to run into. Still Mickey. Mickey at the top of the 18. Mickey fires with the left foot, but it's blocked point blank by Kroll. Morel trying to hold it in. Now a battle of 17s, nearly taken away again by Miyazaki from Braun. Cleared more decisively by Dianza. Castro. Hicks on her back, trying to keep her from turning. Forced to drop it back. Hirata. Wide for Guadalupe. Excuse me, that's probably Mitra Vijay again by now. Again, the 3 and the 8. Hard to tell the difference from out here. Skinny little numbers. Kroll in possession. Angie Huber takes advantage of her distraction. Nearly loses it. Now plays a flat ball towards Regis, who does well to come to it under pressure from Lucas. Up ahead, Huber. Step over, step over. Slides that into position here for Morel. Comes to a stop. Tries the refeed. Ooh, that looked good. The run from Huber on the 1-2. Absolutely lovely. Here's a ball over the top for Huber. Flag is up from Chavez, and that will end that attack, even as Huber hits the back of the net. Does look like we're going to have a substitution here. Miki Miyazaki needs to come out, has indicated the need for one. You can go. And so that'll bring in Emma Soboleski for the Vikes. In for the Vike. In for the Vikings, number 8, Emma Soboleski for the injured Miyazaki. Uh-oh, I think my battery died on the public address mic. We'll have to deal with that later. I'd love the Vikings to make it a problem by scoring a few here. That'd be swell. Inside the center circle, Hannah Morel. Soboleski stations herself at the left wing. Morel, long ball, that's going to go direct to Nina Smith. Don't think that was intended as a shot, so we'll remain 3-2 the count on shots and shots on frame. Smith's drop kick falling near midfield, popped up with the foot of Braun. Khalil not able to handle, though, and Soboleski will take it away. Emma trying to work her way up the left side, last touched by the 7 in white.
Drop.
Diana Ruiz helping out there to get the ball back to Amanda Robertson. Back and forth between her and Soboleski, now back on Amanda's foot. Launches a long ball in the direction of Rattery. Nice takedown. Tries to spin around the defender. Well resisted by Guadalupe, who is indeed still in the game. Now comes to Angie Huber. Puts one on the right side. Can the Vikings get to it before it's out of play? Rattery does. Clatters into a defender, and it's out the back. Goal kick. Coach? Coach, who's 28? Won't be able to tell the assembled masses anyway since the microphone is presently dead, but Leilani Liu, the number 28, into the match for De Anza. That may well have been on the roster that was provided briefly to me, but I handed that straight off to Coach Mullins. I was working from the one that I scavenged from online. Ball forward here for Cami Regas. Enters the 18 from the left side. Squares it up. Huber right at Nina Smith. Excellent developing play. Just unable to hit any of the targets left or right of the Mountain Lion keeper. Long ball knocked down here by Regas. Soboleski back to Cami. Cami coming forward. Up the left side, working on VJ. Still Cami. Crossed in, that'll find a defender at the edge of the 6. Still competing for it, though. Finally played out here as Mora and Lucas converged upon Regas. Still stays with the Vikes. Apologies for the noise. We're looking to see if we've got any batteries to put into the microphone. Looks like we may have a player in need of a hit from an inhaler in a moment here. Hot day in Pleasant Hill. A little warmer than perhaps accustomed to here. We'll knock that field mic down. Here comes the ball from Alina Rodriguez. Squared up. Huber was waiting. Cleared from the front of the 6-yard box. It appears it'll be another Viking corner kick to come here. All hands on deck for De Anza as Francia Castro, the isolated forward, comes all the way into the box to defend. Vikings in search of a second goal to give them a little bit more comfort going into the break. That's still 15 minutes away. This is the chunk of the game that has been the Vikings' bugaboo, outscored 7-2 in the middle 30 minutes of matches so far. Jasmine Lucas re-entering. Hannah Morell will be the one to put the ball in. Hannah Walden had the first one from this side. Morell loops this one in, back post, hit by a De Anza player, and Nina Smith out to it. Did well just to crowd the area, did the Mountain Lions. And Nina Smith alert and ready to take that ball away. Ball forward comes free to Hicks for a moment, but under her foot to Castro. Cleared now towards the far sideline. Rattery. Belcastre receives. Back to Rattery. Molly thinking about a turn inside. Comes to a stop in front of Hermione Thompson. Played back now to Belcastre. Now on the right side, trying to get stuck around the defender, is Alina Rodriguez. Excuses herself as she collides with a De Anza player coming back after it. Taken back by the Vikings. Huber steps around the arrival of the defender. Tries to feed Soboleski. Emma gets it on her left. Fires right at the keeper as well. Vikings out shooting the Mountain Lions 5-0. Shots on goal 4-0. But since the Huber goal that came on the second shot, the last two have been nice opportunities. They've been hit hard, but they've been right at Nina Smith. Here comes the ball forward, and it's Rattery on a foot race, and Rattery will come to a stop in front of the keeper. Not without some drama there. Smith has been forced to be pretty alert there as the goal kick is going to just barely avoid Emma Soboleski. Ball claimed now here by Robertson. Leilani Liu, the newly inserted player, on her back, plays that off of Robertson. Throw in to come and a substitution.
Returning for Dianza, number 11, Maria Mora. Into the game earlier, number 28, Leilani Liu.
I think we're up to date now. 10 minutes, 52 seconds to go here in first half action. Ball forward. Nicely done by Thompson to try and defend against the arrival of a DVC defender. Belcastre, though, able to take it away. Loops it over the right side. VJ centrally for Hirata. Dianza lose out. And it looks like Miyazaki will return.
Returning for the Vikings, 17, Miki Miyazaki.
She will take off the goal scorer, Anjali Huber. And definitely favoring that right leg as she comes off. That's an unsettling vision for Vikings fans. Hopefully a little bit of rest, a little massage here. A halftime break that is just about 10 minutes, plus whatever's added on for the hydration break earlier away. Belcastre holds the ball in. Long ball comes straight to Sofia Loera. Left side, Soboleski. Emma steps through two defenders. Nicely done. Emma still on it. Emma, three defenders collide with her. Converge, I meant to say. Finally taken away, and the clearance only as far as Rigas for a moment, and nicely done by Dianza to handle it. And they do find the open woman, Perla Guadalupe. Ball forward, good step from Sofia Loera, takes it away. Rigas not able to get to it, though. Hirata. Centrally now for Braun. And a rough collision there between the 17s, and Braun comes away the worse for it. Third Viking foul against one committed by the Mountain Lions. Looks like Rifa Khalil may be re-entering in just a moment. We have, to this point, seen just about everybody available for Coach Johnson. Only Lizette Lara has yet to participate. For the Vikings, Soboleski and Rattery in, yet to see the debutantes available for the first time, Rubel and Gonzalez. Free kick deflected away by DVC, and it comes to the feet of Alina Rodriguez, taking on her opposing captain, Leah Hirata. Some nice work there, now puts it to the feet of Miyazaki. First touch shows too much of it to VJ. Cleared away, Maila Hicks comes to it. It's all three captains in the span of a few seconds getting a touch on the ball. Rodriguez, then Hirata, then Hicks. Ball over the right wing in search of Rattery. Molly, first touch cross or perhaps shot. Either way, it's headed way over the goal. We will count that based on the words of the coaching staff as shot number 6, 4 of them on frame so far. Of course, at that point of the game where a goal would change the momentum and the tone of the team talks significantly, Vikings would love to get one. They desperately cannot afford conceding one. Ball taken away by Castro. Battle of 14s on the right side. She gets around Loera, puts in a cross. Near post, beaten there by Hernandez, but not able to direct it on frame. Was the number 17, Madison Braun. First Dianza shot goes wide of Hernandez's goal. Inside 7 minutes to play. Against Woodland, the Vikings got the goal that could have changed things and then immediately conceded the one that did change things. Against Cabrillo, the goal with 5 minutes to go, very much the death knell for the Seahawks. Vikings dominated the remainder of that game. Against Skyline, same thing, a second goal right before the break. What made things really challenging for the Vikes going forward. Emma Soboleski putting on the pressure. Ball pops away from Kroll. Launched towards the player bench. Throw in coming up for the green and white. 6 minutes to go. Robertson looking for the long throw. She'll find Soboleski at the midfield stripe. Emma, nice work to touch that around the arrival of a defender. Now lofts one to the left side. Rodriguez hadn't gotten off to a run, but she'll look to make it tough on Kroll. Still Rodriguez keeps the ball in. Last touched by Kroll. Good work by the Viking captain. This wing forward position, one she's comfortable with, and this De Anza team, one she's comfortable facing. Her one goal in green and white came on debut in Cupertino last season. She'd love to find another one here. Throw in to come from near the corner flag. Thrown in by Morel. That's going to maybe hit a hand. Looks like it's come instead to Alina Rodriguez. She tees up a shot, takes a deflection, and it's going to be Nina Smith in pursuit. No deflection apparently. Goal kick instead. Skewed hard enough that I thought there had to have been a deflection on it, but apparently not. 5 minutes to go here in first half action from Pleasant Hill. If you're just joining us, Vikings in the lead on a goal in the 20th minute from the likeliest suspect, Anjali Huber. Her 7th in game number 5. Goal kick reflected by Rattery. She looks to get stuck in on VJ. Applies the pressure. Ball comes loose to Regis. Now Miyazaki. Here comes Mickey. Little space to run into at the D. Here comes Miyazaki. Fires. That one does take a deflection on the way through, and it's a domesticatable shot. Shot on goal number 5 of the day on shot number 8. Vikes had an early attempt on Nina Smith's goal. And then it was the Huber tally on the second bite at the apple. Since then, 2 straight at the keeper from close range with velocity. And then that last one just now from Miyazaki, domesticated by a deflection. Hicks stuck in on Kroll. That's going to deflect out off the Viking captain into the player bench. Throw to come from just underneath our camera. Leilani Liu claims it, puts it to the right side. The Vikings 14 in front of that of De Anza. Loera defending as Morel comes up to the ball, and it's over the back line for a goal kick. Oh, rather that, it is a foul committed by Francia Castro. Second of the day against De Anza for a shove in the back. We were unsighted from our position, as that was all happening behind the player bench, but that the call out from Peter Hansen. Free kick Vikings deep in their defensive zone. Morel, Soboleski picks it up, looks to get around Mora. Soboleski continuing to apply pressure even after losing possession. Earns the Vikings a throw in. About a minute away from the clocks coming to a stop here at Vikings Field and on DVC Vikings Live in first half action. Alina Rodriguez continuing to get stuck in against Kroll. Ball's out, last touched by Alina. And a substitution to come here, as we'll see the last of the 3 available to Coach Johnson.
Into the game for De Anza, number 15, Lisette Lara.
Throw in under the feet of Leilani Liu, claimed by Robertson. Good pressure from Madison Braun. Robertson resists it for a moment. Maybe held. Ball comes free. That clearance is going to go straight to Emma Soboleski. Emma drops back to Regis. Regis launches this one towards Nina Smith's goal. Doesn't have the requisite curl. Yeah, I guess that one is going to go down as a shot. I believe that was an attempt to try to launch one over the top of the keeper. And Emma Soboleski again onto a goal kick. First touch carries a little long, though. Kroll able to clear. Comes back to Kroll, loses touch. Alina, forward looking for Emma. Mora will intercept. Goal right before the hydration break from Anjali Huber has us at 1-0. Throw in to come in a moment here for the Vikes. Soboleski looks like she's going to be gutting out the last few minutes here. Had the universal sign of, I'm feeling pretty gassed a moment ago. Throw in is to the chest of Rodriguez. Turns to her left. Tries to feather that through 2 De Anza defenders, but it doesn't carry him far enough off Kroll, cleared away for another throw. To the best of my recollection, about a 3-minute hydration break, so there will be some time added on here, one would expect. Throw in is to Rodriguez, looks to get spun around, enters the 18, now slides this to Miyazaki. Good sliding challenge inside, and the ball taken away here after Jaden Reyna, freshman defender out of Gunderson, who played in the last 2 matches after missing the opener, able to dispossess that. I think a handball against the Vikings, the reason for the free kick whistled here. Free kick, though, comes right to Soboleski. Her first touch, though, will skew wide. Lets Mora get back onto it. Ball played into the center. Pelcastre comes away with it, awaiting signals from Peter Hansen to let us know what remains here in our first period. Vikings trying to get to the break with the lead intact. Maybe take one last chance to extend it. Brattery trying to work her way through a defender. Good cleanup, though, by Reyna. Centrally Braun. Liu. Regas looking to get stuck in. Liu tries to cut inside her. Regas gets a touch. Hicks now sprays it wide left. Regas comes away with it. Comes to a stop, looking for someone to feed. Goes short to Maila. Up ahead to Soboleski. Regas on the overlap, but Soboleski's going to go central for Rodriguez. Alina leaves it for Miyazaki. Carries too far. Ball cleared away. Hannah Morell comes away with it. Forward Miyazaki plays that to the right side. Domesticated, in fact, by the touch from VJ, and the cross off of VJ out for the Vikings' fourth corner kick of the day in perhaps the final action. Signal from Mr. Hansen is 1 more minute left before he will call first half proceedings to a close. Vikings will look to defend and look to avoid a counter, as it's Lisette Lara, the one woman out to potentially cherry pick. Vikings do have Loera and Pelcastre back, as well as Robertson minding her. Hicks at the top of the 18, everybody else swarming by the 6. Here comes the corner from Morell. Good service towards the penalty dot. That's going to get around a few players. Rattery, a swing. Doesn't make good contact. Falls to Miyazaki. Inside and claimed just before the arrival of Alina Rodriguez. And that's going to do it right there. So an opportunity knocking there. The Vikings do take a shot, but not one on frame. And Smith able to put out the fire before DVC could make it 2. So it is 1-0 as we go to the break on the goal from Angie Huber. And we will do what we always do here on DVC Vikings Live, and that is send you to 15 minutes of local music, courtesy of Dave Hughes and the Beat of Diablo. Your score here through 45, 1-0 Vikings.
This is the beat. This is the beat. The Beat of Diablo with Dave Hughes.
Hey there, local sports fans. This is Dave Hughes, the producer and host of the weekly local music program, The Beat of Diablo, broadcasting on FM radio at 90.5 KVHS and on television at Comcast 26. Here now are some select cuts from this week's episode, handpicked by your DVC Vikings live announcer, Joe Hickey. To catch this week's episode in full, visit thebeatofdiablo.com for local listings.
This is the beat. The Beat of Diablo's DVC Vikings Live halftime show.
Well, we do hope you enjoyed your weekly and sometimes bi-weekly dose of the Beat of Diablo and local music from Concord Rock City. If you're looking for more things to do here at DVC, one thing you can, or in Pleasant Hill or in the area, one thing you can do is tune into the Beat of Diablo, and Dave Hughes will give you concert recommendations, just more than you know what to do with. The other thing you can do is spend a lot of time on the campus of DVC this week, as volleyball will be at home on Wednesday, tomorrow at 6 p.m. to kick off conference play. Men's water polo hosts the Jack Flanagan Invitational on Friday, 3:15 and 5:45. The Vikings, 2 appearances on day one of that. Of course, soccer will be here on Friday at 4 p.m. and football at the stadium Saturday afternoon at 1. Vikings huddle has broken. Deance's just did a moment ago, and we're just about ready for action. And the first thing we have to tell you about is that we were congratulating the wrong goal scorer that whole time. It was, in fact, Hannah Morell with that ball going in directly. Her counter cross after the original corner kick was reflected, went in without a touch from Anji Huber, and so it is not Anji's 7th, it is Hannah Morell's 2nd. It does deprive her of assist number 3, but I doubt she will mind terribly. So we are just about ready for action here in the second half. Vikings and Mountain Lions, DVC leading 1-0. The substance is the same irrespective of who got the tally. And the kickoff here will find the chest of one of the two brand new Vikings who is in the lineup as we restart, and that is Callista Rubel, the St. Pat St. Vincent based defender. Welcome back, Callista. Callista had 1 goal last season in green and white with Sacramento City, and a ball taken away and going up the left wing. I think that might be the other new player, Sofia Gonzalez. Indeed, the 19 who finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez steps around one defender. Vikings looking for a quick strike right out of the locker room. Gonzalez will have it taken away from her. So Sofia Gonzalez, a freshman forward out of San Ramon Valley, a track athlete that has come to the Vikes. In possession for just a moment there. Now cleared away again from her feet. It will stay with the Vikings. Apologies there. We're having some slight issues with the clock in the early going. We're going to see if we can get that thing synced up with the one on the scoreboard. The ball rattles around on the left side. Long ball put in. That's just going to get by Hannah Walden, not able to bring it down. There we are. Now we've got them synced up. The ball in possession of Miki Miyazaki, plays that off a defender, doesn't have enough oomph on it to carry over the end line for a corner, comes back to Miki, now cleared by Leah Hirata and out for a DVC throw on the right side. So for the Vikings, straight out of the restart, appears to be Maila Hicks into the midfield with Callista Rubel, stationed beside Sofia Loera in the center of the defense. Sofia Gonzalez on the left wing side in place of, we have seen Soboleski over there. We've also, we do still have Hannah Walden in at the moment. I think Alina Rodriguez now in the center position and Huber in the midfield. Here comes a ball fizzing across and Gonzalez not able to make contact. There's the ball here and a shot from distance off the foot of Anji Huber. Or Cami Regis, rather, excuse me. Worth noting here, Anjali Huber might be the first forward I've ever met to come up to the scorer and say, no, I didn't actually score that goal. So a stand-up kid to go along with a heck of a scorer. And my mistake, Anji Huber, I believe, not actually out there to start the second half. She did come off with a little bit of a limp in the late going of the first half, so it's now Hicks, Regis, and Miyazaki in the center. Rodriguez, center forward, Walden to her right, and the new left wing, Sofia Gonzalez, off to her left. Rubel and Loera, the center of the defense. Hannah Morell and Amanda Robertson bracketing them on right and left, respectively. Currently, Pelcastre on the bench. To start half number 2. Ball on the foot of Alina Rodriguez, trying to spin around her fellow captain, Hirata. Gets around her. Leilani Liu takes it away. Here comes another rip from distance! Cami Regis! Golazo! What a hit from Cami, and the Vikings make it 2. Just 4 minutes past the restart. Wow! We've heard tell that Cammie's got a heck of a boot. But when you're in a visual medium, you show rather than tell. Oh my goodness. I am buzzing right now. That might be the best goal I've seen live from this team. I'm going to have to sit and think about some of the others. I do remember Callie Goodman way back in 2014, scoring from about 45 yards, but that didn't have the power that one just had. That thing might have still been rising. Give me a second. I got to do my usual job.
DVC goal in minute number 49. The first in green and white. And quite a first impression for number 3, Cami Regas. DVC 2, Deanza 0.
Goodness gracious. That puts DVC in a good spot to potentially make a little history today. I'm going to wait until potentially they get a third or until the final whistle before I say out loud what's going on, because I feel like I jinxed it repeatedly up at Woodland the other day. But if you were listening to that one, you know there's some history at stake today. And DVC have, well, they put down a stake to say, we're going to try and get this done. Not wait any further. Hannah Morell forward, looking for the run of Miki Miyazaki, who's moved in the center forward position, anticipated by Reina. Miyazaki loses out there, commits a foul, 4th of the day against DVC. By the way, the shots and shots on goal count now up to 11 and 7 respectively for the Vikings. Deanza have put one ball in the direction of Bella Hernandez's goal. It was wide right at about the half-hour mark. 4-2 now the foul count, 4-0 the corner kick count. Most importantly, though, 2-0 the result on the scoreboard as we recap the scores. Morell in the 20th, Regas in the 49th. Throw in comes to Deanza. Regas briefly dispossesses Lou and now forces a rough pass from or towards Miyazaki. She finds Walden. Hannah trying to wrap the foot around and maybe find the service. That one appears to go down as a shot on goal. 8th of the day for the green and white, but not a convincing effort. Not the first time we've heard the call from the bench of, hey, that's not a spot to take a shot. Let's get some service in there. In fact, that call has been largely what has told us about intent and let us know to call them shots on goal. Regas trying for the one touch to Walden in the wing. Drop back to Guadalupe. Pressure coming from Maila. Hicks continuing to push Guadalupe back. Still Maila. Gets a touch to it. Wins the ball. Back to Morell. Hannah rolls that one forward in front of Thompson. Now finds Rodriguez. Nice job to cut that off by Kroll. Put herself around Alina, who was doing well just to use the strength to try to hold position. Here's a drive from distance. That's from Miyazaki, and it's wide of the goal. 13th Viking shot. Just the 5th not to actually be on frame. There is an urge you get as a broadcaster here when somebody hits a shot like that. The first thing you're doing is just looking to make sure that everything is actually running. I hit go live, right? Everything's good there. Okay, the video's not frozen. Okay, my audio's still going out. All right, thank heavens. We done captured a moment. Jocelyn Pelcastre about to return to the fray in a moment. Vikings in search of one to make this a nice, calm affair at the end. Here's another shot from distance. That one is going to loop up and wide off the foot of Sofia Gonzalez. Goal kick and time for the sub.
Returning to the game for the Vikings, number 26, Jocelyn Pelcastre. Into the game for the Vikings in their 20-25 debuts at halftime, number 5, Callista Rubel, and number 19, Sofia Gonzalez.
Goal kick headed on by Leilani Liu, the 28. Ball taken away here by Miyazaki. Regas over to the right side, finds Morell leaking out. Here comes Hannah. Perla Guadalupe, rather, in battle. Ends up with the last touch as it goes out. Looks like Morell is going to come into the right wing as Pelcastre takes right back and takes off Hannah Walden. Miyazaki trying to get wound up for a cross. Comes free to Maila Hicks. She puts one towards the left post, and that one had Nina Smith in two minds. If there'd been a runner at that post, would have been really, really dangerous. Without that, Smith comes out eventually to claim. We're definitely going to need to screen cap that Cami Regis goal and get that sucker on my Instagram. At Joe Hickey77, in case you're wondering. Follow your boy. DVC on the attack again. That one under Lou. First touch from Morel, trying to refeed Rodriguez at the D. Pelcastre, forward for Maila. Under pressure from the 17 Braun. Comes free and a rip from distance from Cami Regis. Can hardly blame her at this point. It will be shot number 9 on frame, 15 overall. Call from the bench is that it's all getting a little narrow at the moment. Take advantage of the width. We've got speed on the wings right now. Morel can certainly put a boot through it. And Gonzalez, as we mentioned, a track athlete, sprinter at that. Ball forward for Gonzalez. Touches that around one defender. Now gets back onto it, looking to enter the 18 from the right side. Doing battle with the 12, Hirata. Ends up rolling the ball in. Goes to ground. Nothing given either way. I think we'll call that an attempted cross that leans its way in. Or, yeah, you know what? Nah, I'm fine with it. It's already on the scoreboard. 10th shot on goal. Regis not quite able to settle, but it does come free to Loera. Vikings have barely given Dianza a sniff of it so far through 12 or 11 minutes and 30 seconds of this second half. And a ball comes free here. Regis looking for the cross, takes a deflection on the way through. That will stay in play and be cleared by Dianza. Eventually, we're going to take you for our usual trip around the horn, but right now I'm scared to because every time I look up, Vikings are attacking. Throw in. Finds Alina Rodriguez, turns around her defender, entering from the left side, tries to put in a cross, takes a deflection, and that will be out as signaled by Khalif Stevenson for the Vikings' 5th corner. First one from this side, I believe. Pelcastre, Rubel, Loera, and Robertson right now your defense. Morel and Gonzalez bracketing Alina Rodriguez in the front line. Hicks, Miyazaki, and Cami Regis your midfield, and at the moment it's Regis over the ball with Miyazaki lurking. Cami had 2 assists off corners against Cabrillo, nearly the Olympico on that one, as that had a little bit of bend and finds its way out just wide of the goal. About to say 1 goal and 2 assists off corner kicks in the opening 5 games would not be a bad return on investment. Goal kick knocked down by Guadalupe, and it'll be Hannah Morel trying to make it tough. Drop back for Reina. Forward for Thompson. Poked away by Pelcastre, and it comes to Morel looking for a cross. That one's flat and at the top of the 18, knocked away by Kroll. We'll take the opportunity to... it's a Viking throw-in. We're not going to take you around the horn just yet. Cross is blocked by Dianza. It's Mitra Vijay battling for it. Stamps it against Robertson and goes to ground. Ball stays with the Vikes. Ball on the foot of Maila Hicks out wide to the right side. A little bit too central for Morel and not central enough to find its way on frame. So we'll take a moment to start taking you around the horn. It's the Ben Antilla tournament in Stockton. Never mind. Hannah Morel's on the ball right now off the goal kick. Can't stop for a second here on DVC Vikings Live. partially cleared by Dianza. Hermione Thompson battling Pelcastre. Jocelyn puts a little body into it, a little too much body into it. Foul number 5 against the green and white, and we'll take that moment to tell you about water polo. 7-4 now on the season, Corey Dolly's men, after picking up a pair of victories over Cabrillo and Aloni. And as has been the theme so far this season, every single one of the tournaments has featured one-goal loss. The only game that they've convincingly been beaten in was against West Valley in West Valley, but they are now 7-4 on the season. Seth Venables, a goal and 3 assists against Modesto Junior College in that tight contest. 5 Vikings with 2 goals apiece against Cabrillo. As DVC Soccer looks to attack again. Sofia Gonzalez receives a ball at the byline. Had it on her left, tries to drag that through the arrival of a defender, no dice. Cleared up the left side. It'll stay in play. Robertson looks to put it back into the mixer. Knocked down by Reina, but it's going to be Miyazaki taking it away. Her ball forward, or back rather, for Loera. Does find a Dianza player instead. An attempted ball forward. It's going to find Bella Hernandez under pressure from Madison Braun. Thompson continuing the pressure, and Hernandez is out of the goal. Here comes the crossover. Rubel able to interrupt her progress, and Pelcastre takes it away. She is swept under, and that'll be the 3rd Dianza foul. Certainly encouraging stuff for Dianza, who, as we mentioned, have struggled to possess here in this second half through the opening 14 minutes of it. That's certainly the best developing opportunity they've had since the one that went wide right. Bella Hernandez had gotten a little ways out there as this one's going to come forward. Rigas pushes it towards Hirata. Pops that up in the air. Held by Brown. Callista Rubel comes through. Brown ends up on the deck. Yeah, that is Rubel. Forward now from Miyazaki trying to find Callista, who collides with the 21 Reina. Little out of control at the moment, Callista. Needs to find her footing. Rigas takes the ball away. Launches this up the right wing for Morel. Flag stays down. Here comes Hannah looking for the cross in on the ground. Anticipated by Hirata. As the 2 goal scorers looked to combine on a 3rd. It was Cami Rigas coming in, looking to hit that one first time. Brown over to the right side. Intercepted by Loera. Forward for Rigas. Inside the center circle. The calm head of Maila Hicks. Looks for Hannah Morel. Tries to get herself turned around Guadalupe and now use the afterburners. Guadalupe does well to stay with her. Played out for a Viking throw. Water polo, by the way, hosting the Jack Flanagan Invitational this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And then next week, at long last, the debut of women's water polo, as we'll have a men's-women's doubleheader, 3:30 p.m. at the pool next Wednesday against Modesto Junior College. And, of course, the men will already be looking for revenge from that 12-11 defeat. Ball on the foot of Thompson for a moment. Pelcastre not able to hold it, played up the sideline. Last touched by White. It'll be Rubel on the throw. Rifa Khalil getting ready to re-enter for Coach Johnson. She will have to wait, though, for the next time that Dianza are in possession. Pelcastre, one touch forward by Miyazaki, looking for Morel, but it's actually going to be Rodriguez who comes to it. Alina earns the byline, tries to cut around the defender, and nice work by Jaden Reina to keep it right there. Another Viking throw. Pelcastre will come forward. Miyazaki apparently dealing with something, a physical issue here. Looking for service here are the Vikings. Hicks back to Pelcastre. This ball floating in towards the 18. Over the top of one defender. Comes to Sofia Gonzalez. Tries to get wound up for a left-footed shot. First one is blocked. Second one blocked off the boot of Rodriguez. And now it's going to be Robertson firing one in. Knocked down by Gonzalez, who goes to ground under pressure. Morel fires it high and wide. And muted calls from the bench for a potential penalty, but nothing given there as Rodriguez hit the deck. Rifa Khalil will come back in for Dianza. And Miyazaki's going to come out. We'll see who enters in her place.
Returning for Dianza, number 7, Rifa Khalil.
Returning for the Vikings, number 7, Anjali Huber, number 23, Molly Rattery, and number 8, Emma Soboleski. So that will be the wings, Hannah Morel and Sofia Gonzalez coming off, as Rattery and Soboleski go into those spots in a like-for-like swap. Miyazaki comes out, and Anji Huber stations herself in Alina's center forward position. Rodriguez, meanwhile, comes back into Mickey's advanced midfielder position. 25 minutes roughly to go here in Pleasant Hill. If you're just joining us, Vikings lead on 1 goal in each half. Hannah Morel in the 20th and Cami Regas in the 49th. Morel's goal, an attempted cross that found its way into the back of the net with nobody getting a touch to it. Regas' goal, an absolute banger. Marley's shaking his head right beside me. He says, yeah, that was something. It is Regas in possession right now for the green and white. Drop back to Robertson. Forward, nobody in that space for the Vikings. It's cleared away, and DVC will maintain possession, and we will maintain a little bit of time to tell you about DVC football. 54-28 victors over the College of the Redwoods up in Arcata over the weekend. They started last week number 9 in the state. That seems likely to advance, and it was a big day for the air attack as the 2 quarterbacks, Kalani McLeod and Jaden Macedo, as well as another QB or potentially kicker, I'm not exactly sure, who attempted 2 passes. 36 attempts, 34 completions. Unreal. 5 TDs for McLeod, 3 for Macedo, 5 receivers with at least 3 catches, 4 with at least 40 yards, 6 that caught touchdowns. And along with that, the Vikings defense intercepted 3 passes. So utterly astounding stuff from DVC. They'll be at home against Sac City Saturday afternoon, and just trust me, you want to go out and see that. That is a heck of an offense that has been put together by Coach Jimmy Collins. You almost forget that they won their first game 10-3. Molly Rattery with the ball, worked out towards the right side of the box. Her cross blocked by Reina. Rattery continuing to apply pressure. What a lovely thing it is. Oh my goodness, Lou hits the deck underneath Pelcastre. Lucky that everybody comes away okay from that. Lou with a smile on her face, Pelcastre with no bruises. Just an amazing thing it is to be able to say fresh legs on for the green and white after the last couple of weeks. 1 player back from absence, 1 back from injury, 2 others looking to be in great shape. I'll remind you, as Bella Hernandez pokes that one away, look out here, nobody in goal for the Vikes, and the ball is rolled straight to her, and she's out of the box. She catches that, she's out of the box, and the call from the bench is, isn't that a red card? That is a free kick for sure. I am as mystified as the Dianza staff is, and kind of can't believe what I just saw. So the handball results in a free kick. And just absolutely dismissed by Peter Hansen. I feel like this is going to wind up being evidence later. And the free kick off the boot of Leah Hirata is high. Second Dianza shot. But for as much as I am a inveterate homer on these broadcasts, I share the utter confusion of Coach Johnson.
I'm explaining the call.
I'm trying to understand how that's not any kind of card. She stopped the goal.
It didn't stop a goal. It was a slow roller in the middle of the field. No possession is not stopping a promising attack.
Okay, so you hear it there. The field mic, very useful today. So the official explanation is that that was not actually stopping a goal-scoring opportunity because the ball was not moving fast enough. Had it been lifted at all, the goal was wide open, and I imagine there will be some discussion about how that moment was managed by the DVC defense and their rookie keeper, Bella Hernandez, as that nearly gave Dianza a massive path back into this game. Certainly having to improvise a new keeper when the one you have is already a a converted field player, learning on the fly to some extent, would have been, well, fascinating for the final 20 minutes. Vikings in possession. Ball back to Sofia Loera. Hernandez. Looking for Callista, but it drifts, and it's going to come free to Hermione Thompson. Good work, though, there by Callista twice to block that ball. Goes in for the slide. 3 bites at the apple, and Callista Rubel, like she never left. Ball forward, knocked down by Hirata. Comes to Alina Rodriguez. Rodriguez, forward looking for Anji. Flag stays down. Anji on it. Approaching the 18. Cuts that around one defender. Still Anji. Cuts it around a second. Let's rip! Big save, Nina Smith. 11th Viking shot on frame. 18th in total. DVC have been very efficient in terms of at least testing Nina Smith. She has responded present more often than not. That is save number 9 for her on the day. But it will be corner kick number 6 for the green and white. Cami Rigas to take. Pelcastre coming up as well to be part of the corner kick. Rigas floats this one in. Huber looking for it. Shove in the back. And it's going to be a yellow card as well for Anji Huber for kicking the ball after the whistle. And Coach Johnson indeed bothered by the fact that that was the second time that has happened.
Yellow card shown to number 7, Anjali Huber, in the 71st minute.
So with that, there will be a hydration break taken, and we'll take the opportunity to complete our trip around the horn. DVC Volleyball got their first win of 2025 last season, 1-5 now on the year. Kaya Ferreira, the one responsible for leading the team in both kills and digs in that one, 10 and 13 respectively, as they beat their district mates Contra Costa in straight sets. Meanwhile, game against Columbia, incredibly competitive. As you take a look at that, 3-1 doesn't even do it justice. Take a look at the scores of the last 2 sets, as the pivotal third one went 25-23, and the fourth one, as they tried to force a final deciding set, went 26-24. A little bit more decisive against Ohlone and Siskiyous. DVC did have a chance to even things at 1 set apiece against Ohlone, but failing that, they subsequently got blasted in set number 3. Siskiyous just dealt with them pretty handily, 3-0. So volleyball in action in Big 8 play starting on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at the gym. They'll also be on the road against Modesto Junior College following that on Friday. Cross country, meanwhile, competed at Merritt College at the Kyle Robinson Twilight Invitational, and women's top Viking for the second meet running was Elena Mendez, who was the second place overall finisher and the top community college finisher in the 3K at 11 minutes 18.8 seconds. Men's top Vikings were Jacob Pancoast and Paulo Morales, Jacob in the 3K and Paulo in the 5K, as each of them finished in the top third at the very least. In the case of Pancoast, 5th out of 26 runners. They'll be in action after a weekend off in Tuolumne at the Modesto Invitational next Friday. And a reminder again of everything coming up as we get ready for the fourth quarter, as it kind of feels like here on DVC Vikings Live. But everything coming up this week. DVC Volleyball again in action. Those two, 2 matches against Delta and Modesto. The first of those at home tomorrow night. Men's water polo, San Mateo, Las Positas on Friday here at the home pool, and undetermined as yet who they'll face in day 2 of the Jack Flanagan Invitational. Soccer here at the field Friday at 4, and football Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Keep up with all of it by going to dvcvikings.com, your source for all things green and white. And it is the green and white looking to attack again out of the hydration break. Emma Soboleski takes the ball away, spins it off a Dianza defender, and out for corner kick number 7.
Re-entering for the Vikings, number 2, Hannah Morell.
She'll take off Amanda Robertson. Does not go immediately into service, however. It's going to still be Cami Rigas to put this in Right boot from the left side, rather. In swinger to come. Hansen with the whistle. Ball floating in. Meets the head of Huber. Not quite able to get it directed goalward. Did take a deflection on the way through, so it will be an 8th corner kick. Don't think that one was going to trouble Nina Smith, but it deflects off the defender in that zone. Madison Braun, Natalie Kroll as well guarding the post. Mitra Vijay, top of the 6. Vikings all clustered on the right side of the 6. Here comes another ball floating down. That's going to get through. Molly Rattery, and Nina Smith has got her 10th save. Rattery just not able to put enough behind that one to trigger the celebration of goal number 3 here. It remains 2-0. Vikings have been dominant, but that 2-0 lead, a scary one, especially when there was concern briefly of the Vikings going down a woman and potentially having to improvise a goalkeeper for 20 minutes. That would have been a massive turn in the tail at 2-0. Would have helped immensely that the Vikings, A, have not been giving up much in the way of opportunities to the Mountain Lions, and B, that they've got 70 minutes of recent experience playing a woman down, as they did against Woodland, just due to injury. Final quarter of an hour of today's game this season. Vikings have been outscored 3-2 in the final quarter of an hour of games. The 2 they conceded, both coming against Chabot. Scored against Skyline, scored against Cabrillo. Must have scored another one. Maybe I'm wrong. That might actually just be 2-2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They've been outscored 3-2. My mistake. In this period. So they do have the 2 from Morel and Huber. 2 conceded against Cabrillo and 1 other against Woodland as Alina Rodriguez hits the deck. Ball out. It'll be another corner kick, 9th of the day for the Vikes. Second one early on. The developments led to the first goal. Hannah Morel completing what we thought was Angie Huber's goal, but in fact got in without the assistance of the number 7. She's still on 6 goals, but she has been lurking and looking for an opportunity on these last couple of corners from Regis. Floating in again. Smith is out. The ball is going to find its way into the back of the net. Goal! And if the celebrations are to be believed, that is indeed the Olympico, a slow-motion one, off the boot of Cami Regis for goal number 3. I am going to ask here, though, to make darn sure before I announce that to the crowd. Just verifying. Certainly the way they all celebrated led me to believe that was the person who had done that. So, indeed, Cami Regis, an Olympico in minute number 78 to go along with the golazo in minute number 49, and it's 3-0 Vikings.
DVC goal from number 3, Cami Regis.
And we need to wait for just a second here because they're looking to combine again, looking for the hat trick, and Regis hits it wide right. 21st Viking shot, 13 of them on frame today.
For Regis, her second goal of the game, direct from the corner kick. Vikings 3, Mountain Lions 0.
And with that, I think we can start talking about the history. And if we can't, I'm going to be worried about every announcer curse forever. But this is stopped down by Huber, looking to dribble through the defender after she blocked the initial attempt there on the goal kick. She instead commits foul number 7 rather than getting a shot away. Got stuck in there against Natalia Kroll. It looks like DVC will be putting on Sofia Gonzalez for the final 11 minutes in a moment. And the center back, Natalia Kroll, is going to need to come out as well. And in the meanwhile, there will also be a substitution for the Vikings here. Gonzalez will come on for Huber. either holding her arm or her midsection. I can't quite tell. But she will leave here as Huber comes off for Sofia Gonzalez. We'll see who's coming on for De Anza in a moment.
Back in for the Vikings, 19, Sofia Gonzalez.
So the history that I've been avoiding discussing for this entire game has been the one that I couldn't stop talking about last time around on the radio broadcast, and that is that we are now 10 minutes away from win number 200 in the career of Coach Colleen Mullins here at Diablo Valley College. And we'll have a little bit to say about that after the final whistle makes it official, but thought DVC had a decent shot at it against Woodland. That was the reason, for the record, that I made the trip. I don't intend to be doing radio road calls this season, but I couldn't risk it happening without me. But it is delightful here. It looks as though it will come to pass in just a few minutes. And interestingly enough, yet again against De Anza. There's something about this school. My first ever broadcast was against them in Cupertino. My 10-year anniversary, we opened the season as I returned to doing this again in Cupertino against De Anza. The first time I did a call for a game that didn't involve DVC was the 3C2A Championships at De Anza College in Cupertino. There's something about this school, and yet again, I get to call a special moment for my good friend as this ball's looped in towards Molly Rattery. Tries to bring it down in front of a defender, looking to touch it around, but it is going to go out for, I would assume, a Viking throw, or it might just stay there. And Rattery will reclaim it in front of Perla Guadalupe. Tries to touch it off of her for a corner kick. Won't come through. Now worked off, and it'll be Hermione Thompson coming away with it. And here comes Cami Regas claiming it. That one's off of her, and it is a handball. Not intentional, but certainly can't let play continue at that point. So the one bit of controversy in today's game, the handball outside the 18 by Bella Hernandez, judged as a free kick, but not a card of any sort due to the lacking velocity of the ball. I certainly understand the frustration of Coach Rusty Johnson in that moment. I shared it. Maybe not frustration, but at least confusion. For as much as you don't want a moment like that to define a game for DVC, you also don't want the absence of it being called correctly, potentially, to be what defines it for De Anza. There's a ball in looking for Sofia Gonzalez, but not able to get there before the arrival of Smith. Jazzy Lucas will be re-entering, the sophomore out of Fremont, at the next stoppage where it can happen. Alina Rodriguez takes the ball away in the midfield. Meanwhile, Hirata comes away, up steps Pelcastre and serves it to the left wing. Knocked down there by Lucas, who collides with Soboleski, and it's an interesting foul call. 8th foul against the Vikings, to 3 against De Anza today. Rattery, Gonzalez, and Soboleski right now, your trident up top for the Vikings. Gonzalez, Hicks, and Regas, your midfield, and it remains Robertson, Loera, Rubel, and Pelcastre, your defensive line in front of Bella. And here's Maila Hicks taking the ball away, now putting it up the left wing for Soboleski. Here comes Emma. Pushes that towards the corner flag, looks for the cross, may have taken a deflection, but either way, Nina Smith will come out to claim. 6.5 minutes to go here in Pleasant Hill. DVC looking at win number 2 on the young season. It would be their second win in 5 games actually contested. Officially the record 2-5 due to the forfeits. Here's a ball over the right side for Rattery, who in her debut very nearly scored in the very late going against Skyline. She looks to scoop one in around Perla Guadalupe. That will be shot on goal number 14, but not a particularly challenging one. Goal kick, or rather stationary kick, I should say, dropped down by Cami Regas, surging to the left side, enters the 18. Cami rolling that towards the feet. No, actually just holding on to that, showing a bit too much of it to the last defender. Ball put in Gonzalez battling for it. Comes to Soboleski. Looks for a cross, deflected out. Corner kick number 10. Of course, to remind you, it's coming up next week, and for that matter, the rest of this week. DVC will be at home against West Valley on Friday. That will be live streamed, but there will not be commentary. Second time I've been double booked. First time I did DVC. Second time I'm doing cricket. But Sofia Lopez Real will be here to let you know the score and the time as needed via the YouTube chat. So do keep her company on that if you're not here in the first place. Here's a ball in. Nina Smith comes out on the cross from Morel. Looks like Coach Johnson will make his maximum number of substitutions at the next stoppage, as he has 3 on his bench. Lucas, Lara, and Kroll will be re-entering. Good to see that Kroll's in good enough shape to continue. There's a ball in from Rattery, and oh my goodness, a collision between the keeper and Sofia Gonzalez. That's going to go the route of a foul against Gonzalez. 9th one whistled against DVC. Smith does well to cut off the path. Vikings will be in action Friday against West Valley, and then I'll be back with you next Tuesday when they host Las Positas for their pre-conference finale. And then they're going to be off for a while. After the 23rd, their next game is not until October 10th, a Friday afternoon against Modesto to open up Big 8 play. Here's a ball down the right side for Alina. Rolled towards the arrival of Gonzalez, who had drifted offside. Flag up from Khalif Stevenson. That'll bring things to a close there. 3:44 to go. Poor Jazzy Lucas has been sitting here for the better part of 5 minutes waiting to come into the game. Free kick after the offside, driven deep, headed on. Be claimed by Callista Rubel, who uncorks the ball out wide on the left side, and that will bring the vigil to a close. Substitution time, and re-entering 3 players here for De Anza.
Returning for the Mountain Lions, 13, Jasmine Lucas, 15, Lisette Lara, and 2, Natalia Kroll.
They will take off Rifa Khalil, Francia Castro, and one other player who seems to be making the long walk around the field from the far sideline. That might be, it's not Jaden Reina. Well, at any rate, final drops of action here from Pleasant Hill today. We do hope you'll join us for those other games. Conference play beckoning, but as we said, a bit of a break before then. So get out here and enjoy this team while you can. When they turn on the style, they are quite something to behold. Maila Hicks on the ball here. She'll drop that back for the arrival of Morel. Kroll gets stuck in right away, battling with Emma Soboleski, and will take it away. Clocks here at the field and on DVC Vikings Live come to a stop at the 2-minute mark. Of course, may have a little bit extra added back on. Oof. Nasty collision over there as Soboleski absorbs a foul just outside the left edge of the 18-yard box. 4th foul whistled against the Mountain Lions today. It'll be a DVC free kick. This is set up almost right on that line and about a yard or 2 shy of the byline. Hannah Morel over the top of it. She's already scored once today. Her teammate Cami Regas with a pair. She lurks at the edge of the 6. Here comes the ball flashing across, knocked down, comes free to Maila Hicks, and it's right to Nina Smith, who gets down quickly and stops that one. Don't let that get lost in here. The Vikings have put 15 shots on goal today. 12 of them stopped by Nina Smith. Could be a very different looking scoreboard if not for the work of the woman in orange. She has put on a bit of a show here. Free kick here. Either the 5th Deanza foul or a handball. As we approach the end of this, though, 22-2 the shot count, 15-0 the shots on goal count. 9 fouls to 5 in quote-unquote favor of DVC. That one's going to take a hop over Smith, and she gets back to it and absorbs a foul in the process. Make it 10-5 the foul count. 10-0 the corner kick count. DVC have dominated. I think they would love to have seen a couple more goals up on the board, but Nina Smith has prevented this from getting away from the Mountain Lions, and Peter Hansen, with mere moments left, apparently doesn't like the sarcasm coming from the Deanza College bench. And the card is coming now from the Deanza bench.
Yellow card shown to the Deanza bench in minute number 90. 1 minute to go.
Even the DVC bench a little miffed at the decision to show that card. Say, let's just let this get over with. Long ball is going to find Nina Smith yet again. Alina Rodriguez takes the ball away. That is the final whistle, and it is a DVC victory. And not just any DVC victory, but as we've been telling you, number 200 in the career of Coach Colleen Mullins. And we're going to tell everybody here all about it.
That's all she wrote, folks. Your final score, DVC 3, Deanza 0 on goals from Hannah Morell in the 20th minute, and a pair from Cami Regas and Olympico in the 78th after a banger in the 49th. With today's win, DVC head coach Colleen Mullins has made it an even 200 victories in her tenure at Diablo Valley College. Congratulations, Coach, on the career milestone. You can next see DVC soccer in action this coming Friday at 4 p.m. when West Valley College comes to town for a battle of Valley Vikings. And there's plenty else going on this week in Vikings land as well, as volleyball hosts Delta tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at the DVC Palladium for their Big 8 conference opener. Men's water polo hosts the Jack Flanagan Invitational all day Friday and Saturday at the DVC Aquatic Center. And the number 9 in the state football team hosts Sacramento City College Saturday at 1 p.m. at the stadium. To stay on top of all of it, point your browser to dvcvikings.com, your source for all things green and white. Thanks for your support, Vikings fans, today and always. Get home safe, and we'll see you next time.
And before we sign off here, I'm keenly aware that Coach Mullins probably a little embarrassed by the hubbub that I've been making about this simple round number. She'd tell you that there's nothing inherently special about win number 200. Certainly nothing more special than 199 last week or any of the 198 before that. Coach is someone who spends very little time resting on laurels. She is at least metaphorically always focused on that thing that you hear like a metronome from the team bench during any Vikings match, and that is next ball. Now, my absolute favorite example of this came in win number 154, and it's when the Vikings beat Delta to earn a trip to the state Final Four in 2016. You all see the highlight of this lone goal of the game, Noelle Lemus in the 79th minute, at the start of every broadcast. But this shot is cropped, and I want to show you what's there in the raw footage just for a moment. You will note here, Colleen Mullins, center bottom, celebrating for exactly 2 seconds. Yes, I timed it. Yes, this is slow motion. Before immediately proceeding to the fourth official and getting defensive mid Chloe Lindemann into the game in order to protect the lead. Even in her most exultant moments, even as I'm sitting there screaming like a lunatic just 15 feet to her left, her mind is on what's coming up next. Whether that is the next ball, the next drill, the next match, the next recruiting season, the next phase in her student athletes' lives. Her dedication to these women is palpable. It's eye-opening to be around, and I've had the pleasure to be around it now for the last 11 years. If you want to know what Coach Mullins means to the women that have come through DVC, I've got 2 places for you to go. One you have to wait for. It's the now annual alumni game in mid-May when players from Coach's entire 24-year tenure come out to feel that on-field family one more time and thank their teammates and their leader for what DVC soccer meant to them and did for them. The other you can see right now if you so choose. It's right here on YouTube, a video series called Vikings Soccer Rewind that I put together in 2020 while the lack of DVC fall sports drove me slightly crazy. In that series, I interviewed a different pair of former DVC players as the halftime show for every match that was broadcast. The overwhelming majority of them effusively thanked Coach Mullins for the effect she had on their development as players and as women. In fact, one of them specifically asked me if I could have Coach be on the interview with her so she could thank her in person. As a professor here at DVC for the last 13 years, I know too well you don't always get to see the effect you've had on a student before they head off to that next step and out of your orbit. But reconnecting with these women on the field and in the Zoom chats made Coach Mullins' imprint undeniable. So why have I been making a big deal out of number 200 when we know that Coach doesn't care as much as her stats-obsessed announcer does? Well, for one thing, it's my show, and I'll do what I want. But in all earnestness, it's because regardless of any win total, this is a person worth celebrating, and there are far worse excuses to step up and do it. Also, when you know your good friend has a hard time slowing down and enjoying a moment, you kind of owe it to her to help her out. But I will make a promise to you, Coach. I'm done talking about this number, and like you, I'm going to cast my eyes to the future. However, I am still a very hyper-numbers-focused guy, so there are some limitations to my scope. So how's this for a first attempt? Next ball? Thanks, everyone, for tuning in this afternoon to DVC Vikings Live. We'll be back at you from Pleasant Hill with a video live stream of DVC West Value on Friday at 4. No commentary on that one, but Sofia Lopez-Real handling PA and updating time and score in the live chat. So do tune in if you can't be there. Until then, and until next Tuesday, when I rejoin you for DVC Las Positas, this is Joe Hickey wishing you dreams of green. So long, folks.